Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at game number 3 between Acer's Nerchio and Rock's Kiss FRAER. FRAER opens up with the good luck, have fun. After winning the first 2 games, Nerchio says, oh wait, there is good gamer, are you? I don't know. Who cares, really? Anyways, yes, this is game number 3 here between Nerchio and FRAER. Protoss versus Zerg. FRAER up 2-0, winning the first 2 games with Forge Fast Expand into Pressure. Game number 1 was a 7-gate level 1 weapon upgrade push. Game number 2 was a Forge Fast Expand into a 4-warp gate level 1 weapon upgrade push. And then he, instead of getting the 3 additional gateways, went for a Twilight Council, and we also saw that robotics drop. However, again, he did not need to use the robotics because the 4 warp gate push was enough. Pushing out with just Zealots and Stalkers, no sentry action, even got a cannon to support his aggression. Ends up winning the game nice and early. Did Nerchio call it too early? I wouldn't say so. Some of you may disagree, but honestly, Nerchio was pretty much guaranteed to lose his expansion there and take significant losses as well. I'm not saying that he should have given up. I have seen crazier things happen. I don't think it's the worst idea to stay in a game and try to duke it out. I mean, you know, you lose an expansion, sure, but if you can kill off all of his units at the same time, I don't know. They take pretty significant losses, and I've seen comebacks before. But you know what? These are pro players, and I play Masters, but I am no pro, so I'll let them decide when it's time to call it quits. Moving on up, FRAER does scout that pool. He's also dropped the pylon to yet again delay the expansion. A little preemptive. I'm not sure that he had to drop that so early. You know, as a result of getting it so early, he is going to delay, for example, his Nexus, which he plans to drop first. This is being delayed as a result of him going for that pylon as early as he did. I think he could have waited a wee bit longer, at least until he saw a drone moving down to attempt to get the expansion. I just don't know. That wasn't... It was earlier than it needed to be, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to lose him the game or anything, I'm just saying. Earlier than it really needed to be. Forge at the front wall as we expect here. Because it is a Forge Fast Expand. Gateway will be following suit, cannon behind it. Cybernex core somewhere. We'll see if he decides to go for that full wall off. I expect him to leave a space, and yes he... No, has he actually? I think those are abutting. Yeah, I expect him to leave a space somewhere, so maybe that cyber core isn't going to be, you know, maybe right over here. Just leaving just enough space for that one lone Zealot. Those look completely buffered there, and they are. There's the cannon. There you go. All right. Early game legs now moving out. They have killed off the pylon at the expansion, allowing Nerchio to now drop that hatchery. Pool is up. No extractor yet for him. He's going to be trying... Oh, actually the pro moves on up to try to scout to see if a third is coming. Ling was there, aware that that was likely coming, the scout, and actually decides to drop his hatchery right over here. Now, the concern with that hatch over here is that if FRAER gets this Xel'Naga tower, he knows about this. And knowing about that super early means we might see some aggression towards it. So we'll have to see how well Nerchio is actually able to defend this expansion. He's sacrificing his lings to try to go for the scout. Ends up losing 3 lings on his way in. 3 pools of blood. 3 lings lost. 3 now in the main. We'll be doing a bit of harass. Don't expect them to get too many kills. Maybe a few. But mostly just trying to keep workers off the line and harass as much as possible. Yeah, he's going to force a few workers off the line here. Zealot comes out to try to deal with this. We'll be trying to chase those workers around. We're trying to chase those lings around. Workers move forward to try to engage a bit as well. Now, Nerchio, if nothing else, he's preventing the Zealot from pushing out and scouting that third right now. So that's certainly not a bad idea. In fact, I'm assuming that's what he was thinking. He's like, all right, let me push straight in. I'll take some ling loss. But if I force that Zealot to stay in the main, then I can safely get up this expansion, work to get it saturated, and then try to defend it. Still 3 lings in the main. Almost dropping that pylon now with some nice micro. He's been dancing around a bit. Losing the 1 ling as he wasn't able to pull it back in time. Still continuing to maneuver around with these few. Goes for a worker. Oh, both lings still alive. How hilarious is that? I said hilarious, I know. Gets 1 shot off from both lings there on the pylon, continuing to try to work down his shields. Oh my gosh, the micro. Hello, Nerchio. That's impressive. Man, you gotta admit. Overlord Scout sacrifices itself. That is not impressive. There's no reason for him to kill his Overlord. Ew, that was a huge mistake. And then ends up losing the ling. Wow. Ugh, Nerchio. That looked terrible. I mean, that was, you don't lose an Overlord to a cannon early on at all, especially a pro player. He was super focused on his speedlings. Super focused. A bit too focused, I must say. Zealot does scout the third. Queen forces him back there. We got a Stalker here as well. Now he can safely engage. Gonna need more than just a Queen and 2 Lings to deal with this. Here it comes. Zealot Stalker pushing forward. That's a problem. Nerchio is gonna have to come down with a few more reinforcements here if he hopes to defend from losing this Queen. He definitely does not want to lose the Queen. Obviously doesn't want to lose workers or Zerglings at all either, but losing the Queen is pretty detrimental, so let's try to make sure he prevents that if at all possible. Metabolic boost hasn't started. We get that layer in actually before the metabolic boost. It's a very strong early layer here. FRAER preparing to push with the early aggression again. 3 gateways plus the level 1 weapons. It will be another 4-gate level 1 weapon push here, and then we should be seeing him move into some additional tech besides that. Because obviously you can support more than just 4 gateways, 4 warp gates off of 2 bases. Lings continue to push forward here, taking out the 1 Zealot, going for the Stalker now. We got another Zealot, and he might not have enough Lings. He might have enough Lings. Gets the Zealot. Tries to core the Stalker. Stalker gets himself in a beautiful position. Oh, with some micro, pulls back with the Stalker and kills off the rest of the Zerglings. And will continue his aggression here. 12 more Lings coming out. Roach Warren almost finished. Metabolic boost now halfway done. We got 3 spines here to prepare the defense for Nerchio. We also have a probe over there. Yeah, some more damage gonna be going down here again, man. After the first 2 games of taking hefty losses and even leaving the game so early because of pushes against his third, I am surprised here. I am very surprised that Nerchio, well, wasn't expecting this or maybe isn't properly prepared. Now, he does have 9 roaches coming out. Once those are out, that is going to help him tremendously. He's already lost half the HP here of this hatchery. That number is going down even lower. Roaches push forward, plus those speedlings, and now he's feeling a little more confident. We got a few more warp-ins here of Stalkers. And a couple of force fields walling off here. He's going to allow him to take off the rest of these roaches, but now these spines in a forward position, plus roach reinforcements might make it so that FRAER can't push anymore. He's got a lot of Stalkers here, though. The additional tech is going to be Armor plus Twilight Council, again with only 4 warp gates. You can support a lot more, so he's getting some techie choices there. Blink research will be coming out for those Stalkers. Looks like the aggression, though, against this expansion has been taken care of, as he's now got 4 spines up. That is quite a hefty number early on, plus the Speedling and Roach support. FRAER's going to have a really hard time pushing on that. Now, he could try to circumvent and go for that natural expansion. Completely avoid those spine crawlers. That's a possibility for him. Speedling's moving down in this position, preparing for a counterattack. Those 2 cannons will do quite a bit of damage before the Lings make it up into the main, if that is his decision. If he decides to, in fact, do that. Yes, he will. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, sneaks by the 2 warped-in Zealots. Splits up his Lings, going for the natural and for the main, but a few Zealots plus the engaging worker should be able to quickly take care of that. He is delaying FRAER from pushing onto the third, buying himself some time. Get some Hydras coming out. Level 1 melee attack also coming out. Blink research getting close to finish. Lings finally taken care of. Let's take a look at the damage here. 5 workers killed so far. Nerchio managed to kill off 5 probes and all of that. But that is it. The harass is done. Blink research now almost finished. We'll be seeing those Blink Stalkers begin to engage in just a moment. 1-1 upgrades done. Level 2 weapons coming out. Also, we will be seeing some observers allowing the Blink Stalkers to kind of sneak up into the main and take advantage of terrain and all sorts of fun stuff like that. However, FRAER now deciding to pull back, deciding he doesn't want to quite engage as of this moment. We'll be chrono boosting out those level 2 weapons upgrades. Might be seeing that aggression right when that finishes. He's got another worker coming out. Yeah, he's planning to continue. Actually, now dropping his third. There you go. Dropping his third. A few pylons as well. A couple Lings and lots of Hydras. Hydras are very strong against gateway units. Got level 1 ranged attack there. The speed for the roaches. Level 1 melee attack. A bunch of speedlings plus an infestation pit. Also another hatch as Nerchio gets his expansion over here. And Nerchio deciding to be the aggressor this time. Moves out. Speedling. Ton of Hydras and roaches. A couple Lings move forward to scout. Sees what he already knew, but now here we go. Preparing to push. Is he going to do it? What's he doing? Just deciding not to. He's actually going to be going for now for the natural expansion. Forces up FRAER moving down. Guardian Shield will cut back on that projectile damage. Making making those ranged units a little bit less effective. A few more zealots coming as well. And the engagement, tentative. Oh, yeah, needs to be very careful of those force fields. That is the major concern there. No question about that. FRAER getting up some additional pylons, even getting a cannon over there. Spielings, Roaches, and Hydras split up their forces. Hive Tech, Spire coming out. Ton more Hydras. Level 1 range just about finished. Level 2 melee now starting there for Nerchio. FRAER is now 1-2, making a transition into Colossus. Colossus tear through Hydras and Zerglings. This is a concern now for Nerchio. Once that Spire's up, we should be seeing some Corruptors to try to counteract those Colossus. Second Colossus coming out. Thermal Lance research also coming through. Gateway now. This might seem like a risky position, but this is to kind of funnel Zerglings or any units if they decide to try to push from this angle. The push is coming now straight for the natural expansion. He's got that wall up there with the Zealot at the choke. Hydra's trying to get a nice concave. We got a nice ball of death here, though, for FRAER. He's got a ton of Stalkers. Again, that Blink research will allow him to peel those back. None of the Lings made it through into the main. None at all. And that Colossus is going to rain terror on these light units. The Hydralisk plus the Zergling do not do very well. Oh, that Colossus in a dangerous spot. There we go, a little bit of micro. Yeah, all the Hydras getting torn up now. Now they're going to try to push forward and do as much damage as they can. Look how much damage they do so quickly. Oh, that Colossus gets dropped. We got another Colossus over here. He hasn't engaged yet, but FRAER able to hold. Even though he lost his Colossus there and the Hydras do tremendous amounts of damage, he was able to hold, still has his forces. Resources lost. That's not the one that I want. There it is. Nerchio ends up losing more so far in this game. He obviously threw away a ton of Hydras, everything he had there actually in that engagement. Greater Spires coming out, Corruptors, and a bunch of Spielings. So he will be making that transition into Brewlords already, even though he doesn't have much of a ground force right now. 29 Zerglings plus the 7 Roaches. That's pretty much it. FRAER doesn't have any other aggression, nothing really coming out over here either. Saw an Overseer, I don't know where that is. Somewhere over here. See what the main force does really matter. Yeah, there it is. Overseer right there. Checking for cloaked units and all that jazz. I thought it might have been over here for scouting purposes, but that was not the case. Observer Scout will be moving out, continuing up that Colossus production. He now has 2 in play with the 3rd coming. In addition to that, we've got the level 3 weapons upgrades coming out. He is still 1-2 at the moment. Nerchio 0-2 for those melee forces. The ranged forces are 0-1. No more upgrades, no more weapons or armor upgrades coming out right now for Nerchio. Spieling's preparing for another counterattack. Again, that full wall off plus 2 cannons. 2 cannons and a Zealot. I mean, nothing doing there for those Blinks. Blink Stalkers pull forward, get a few extra kills after the swipe from those Colossus. And now these cornered Lings are dead. They're just dead. Oh wow, decides not to overextend himself. Pretty wise of him, actually. Had FRAER continued to chase that small amount of Lings, we could have seen. He could have seen. He doesn't know that there's not much to push at the moment, but he could have seen a straight push from Spielings and Roaches over here. But as we can see, Spieling Roaches not really happening now. There's a few bit of Roaches, but really the focus here is going to be on his Broodlords. That's what he's dedicating himself to right now, spending a lot of resources in. And here we go, Corruptors. Now gonna go for that snipe against a Colossus. Oh, with the Blink Stalkers forcing him back, but you saw how quickly that Colossus got dropped. And now he has showed the fact that he's got Broodlords coming out. Now we've got, oh, very nice. Gravitic Drive coming out. You don't see that very often. You do not see that upgrade very often at all. Pretty much ever, actually. Very, very rare to see that. But here it is now. FRAER will be dropping here with that War Prism. Gets a few Zealots in, and then the War Prism gets dropped from those Corruptors. Bulk of FRAER's forces still over here. Zealots is still going to be able to do a bit of damage. As we can see here, Nerchio is still quite a bit behind so far in this game. Over almost 4,000, just a bit around 4,000 resources right now behind. That hurts, man. Hurts quite a bit. Workers killed. Nerchio has killed off 8. That is not really a significant amount, however. Stalker tests that Broodlord line. Wants to see when those Lings start coming through. More Colossus moving forward. Pathogen Glands getting research right now. Those will be for the Infestors to get those fungal growths as soon as they pop. We do have another base coming out here for FRAER. And FRAER now making his push towards the 4th and 5th. And if he can take those out, that could be a problem, of course, for Nerchio. So Nerchio's got to really try to make sure he can defend this. Tons of Colossus in play right now. We got 5 Colossus in play, number 6 coming through. Another War Prism, so we will be actually seeing FRAER try to continue off that War Prism run. It's been an interesting mid-game so far. I really, I'm expecting a huge clash at any minute, and it really just hasn't happened yet. Look at that speedy War Prism with that upgrade. That is, oh man, undelay. War Prism, look at how quick you are, my friend. That is just a riot. That is so fast. That's absurd. Chilling out in the corner right now. He's going to be waiting to pursue, or continue rather. And another War Prism over here. Oh, snap. 2 War Prisms in play. Get ready to see this action. We got a Fleet Beacon coming out. We expect from that a mothership. Yes, we do. Speedlings and Corruptors trying to defend over here. Just waiting for that engagement to happen. We got a few Speedlings over here. I'm just waiting. He's holding off on this. He's just preparing so that when he sees the forces of Nerchio and the Corruptors, he's just going to warp in a few Zealots. That's going to be hilarious. 1 Corruptor to spot this War Prism over here. That War Prism is a goner. Might as well try to get a few warp-ins in. Here's engagement. Blink Stalkers now going straight for those Brew Lords. Infestors getting sniped down. Trying to get this Force Field Wall. Nice fungal growth. Keeping those Stalkers in place. Allowing those Broodlings to do a bit of damage. Lost quite a few of those Stalkers. They're forced to continue to pull back. That War Prism again is dead. This War Prism is still here, but nothing doing for him. Blank Stalkers pulling forward again, going straight for the Brew Lords. Oh no, not as much protection this time, and the Brew Lords will be taking quite a bit of damage. Now down to just those 4, and Nerchio leaves the game. FRAER takes the series 3-0. Nerchio does not GG once. It was quite evident in this series that Nerchio did not think any of these games were good, but how about you guys? Did you enjoy any of these games, even if they did seem a bit one-sided or even a bit cheesy? FRAER ends up winning the series' first 2 games with early aggression, last game with some nice macro play. He did also go for that 4-gate push early on with the level 1 weapons upgrade. It wasn't as effective as it was in games 1 and 2. But still, I guess it set him up for success. Alright guys, maybe you Protoss players in the PvZ matchup have a brand new opening to go for. Forge Fast Expand into 4 gates, level 1 weapon upgrade aggression into this. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning. Nerchio super angry.